I'm here today with a good friend of mine, Tom Russell, Managing Director of Trust Group. Tom, thanks for coming down today, mate.
Thank you for having me.
So Tom, tell us, what is Trust Group?
So Trust Group is a development company based in Cardiff, developing primarily in Cardiff, but we will look at other areas. We tend to focus on the high value areas of South Wales. So whether that's Penarth, Mumbles, Gower, Cardiff, certain parts of Newport.
Yep, and we actually visited two of your projects today as well. So, the high quality, great. Some you're doing to sell, some you're doing to rent. Any strategy behind that, or you're just whatever the deal? Depends on the deal.
I think in Cardiff, you've got to go for units under schemes under 4 units if you want quick turnarounds in planning. Okay. And I'd say there seems to be a lot of opportunity under the 4 unit size.
Okay.
When you start to move up, there's just less and less opportunity. So it seems to be what's working. The first one was 4 units, the second one was 4 units. Yeah. Anything above that becomes a little bit more difficult. So yeah, that's what we're focusing on.
So you do new build or conversion?
Well, at the moment, it seems like conversion. Definitely won't shy away from a new build project. But again, it's just space. And where we're not doing housing association models, you have to put bigger buildings, bigger footprints, detached houses. Yeah. And in those high value areas, we don't have the land as much. So it seems to be flats as what we're going for, and conversions.
But the key thing that's really impressive, Tom, 26 years old, you've done multi-million-pound projects combined. You've built portfolio, you've raised millions of pounds from investors. I know you don't really consider it because us as business owners, we never really take into account what we've done. Yeah. But that's a massive achievement of 26. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I think you've got to start somewhere. And, it's not like it happened overnight, like some people might think. But it all started in 2016. I know you can relate to that too.
Oh, yeah. So we can't see a headline from you coming out then soon, Tom, coming. Do you want to get rich tomorrow?
There's no chance. It doesn't quite work like that.
Yeah. But for the benefit of the audience then, like I said, big statement there, 26 years old, all these accolades already from a business point of view.
Yeah.
How did you start?
I'll be totally honest. I knew from a young age I always wanted to make money. Didn't know quite what I'd be doing, but I was selling flowers at a young age, digging them up and selling them door to door. I think I got that.
Roses?
No, I think they were lilies. I don't know what, wildflowers.
Okay. Weeds.
Yeah. And so started off doing that, made a bit of money, and I was like selling drinks in school, legal drinks, and then. What else?
Sorry, did you say legal or illegal?
No, legal drinks.
Tom's own made energy drink. Try this, mate.
Started off that. And then realised, I think money can change your life. It can retire you if you want. It is an important thing to make sure you have good around you. So my dad was always entrepreneurial. And he kind of pushed me into property development. I was sceptical. At first, we were just buying terraced houses, and I was thinking, who's going to sell their property below market value? You come to realise it's not just below market value purchases, but it's how can you add value to a property. So these deals are out there and they do work. And as I say, I was sceptical at first. I'm fortunate enough that I had people around me to push me.
Yeah.
And then from that day onwards, it was full steam ahead, really.
So it's fair to say you had quite a positive environment around you then, a bit saying, showing you kind of, look, this is possible. You can do this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that there's actually this limiting belief.
Yeah, it's a limiting belief. And you need, if you're that person, you need to be around positive people.
Yeah. Because I noticed it, being in property for as long as I can remember and speaking with people like yourself, when we talk about a £500,000 purchase or £1 million purchase or whatever it is, the thought is never, that's impossible. It's always just like, what is the details and is there value there? And I'll know how to solve that problem. Whereas people who've never been exposed to property, they want to get into it. But the first thing they see is, I can never afford that. £250,000. Where am I going to get that from?
Yeah. But I think it all comes in stages as well, doesn't it? People, whatever feels comfortable to them. For me, it was terrace houses. And then I went into developments, small scale developments. I think, as you know, I'm still only doing small schemes up to 4 units, but we're offering on stuff up to 18 units. The confidence will grow, and just like if you're starting out, you'll start putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
And the confidence will grow in that way. And raising these sums of money will seem easy soon.
So the first deal you did then, what was it? Tell us.
So we actually put a newspaper ad out back in 2016, and we picked up a terraced house in Tonopandi for like 35,000, which came through the newspaper ad. So it was
what did the ad say?
sell your house fast for cash.
Oh, that's what sell your house fast for cash.
Sell your house.
Tom now.
Yeah, so I was skeptical. I didn't think we were going to get anything from it.
Okay.
And I was an apprentice at the time, so I was earning £1,100 a month, and I was putting £400 a month.
Decent, really, from as a teenager.
Yeah, it was just everything was going into it, and it paid off. So then we bought the one for 35,000, spent 12,000 on it, and it was worth 83,000. And then ever since that, it was like, this is what I need to be doing.
It's great. Yeah, excellent. So then from there, did you have, as you were building your property career and you were selling some, keeping some, did you have any other business on the side? I know you ventured into landscaping as well, didn't you?
Yeah. So landscaping, I started that around the same time as the property business. That was just a weekends thing around my job in the council initially. And
sorry, just for context here, was you experienced in landscaping? How did you just create a landscaping business?
I wasn't experienced. No.
You just thought I could create a landscaping business?
Yeah, I thought, how hard could it be?
That's really important because it comes back to that mindset. It's like, you just decided that landscaping is what you'll do to make some extra cash.
Yeah, being outdoors, couldn't think of anything better. But again, your confidence grows. You might be a bit cheap to start off with until you realise you're really pleasing your customers, and then you put your prices up.
But were these first jobs like, cutting grass and hedges?
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't go all in on patio straight away with driveways?
Not quite, no. Yeah, exactly that. So it was mowing lawns, weeding, treaded weeding, hedges. Yeah. And then people were asking, could you repair that fence, or could you do this and that? And realised there was, an opportunity to start a landscaping business. And then we moved into patios, driveways, fencing, deckings, artificial grass, basically everything you can think of in the garden.
You actually did a landscaping job for us, didn't you? A few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's really interesting. And, for yourself then, where are you going? Where is Trust Group going? Like, what is the intention here?
Yeah, so it's going to be based in Cardiff, probably for the next 5 years. I think we'll always stay working in Cardiff. By that I mean churning out development schemes. As I've already mentioned, there seems to be a lot of opportunity. Not too much, but if there is opportunity there, it's in small to medium-sized buildings, and then much bigger schemes, 100 to 300 unit schemes next to the train station. And
so you want to go that big, do you?
Eventually, yeah. How else are you going to scale? If your unit sizes are 4 to 15, that is the obvious route. I might be a minority shareholder in a deal like that one day, but that's where I want to be.
And do you want to do deals like that just and keep growing just because you like doing deals, or are you trying to strike it rich and retire on a boat?
I just said, what did you say on a boat? Yeah, exactly. I think I've told you before. Yeah, I want a yacht, and I want to sail around the world. So property is going to be able to do that for me.
Yeah, nice. Yacht or a sailing boat?
Super yacht.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what the finances are looking like at the time, but we're going to watch this back in like 35 years and see if it happens. 35.
60.
Yeah. Yes. They're very easily doable then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fingers crossed, 35 years, still there. It'll be very interesting to watch this back for sure. See what happens. But from yourself then, and for those who are watching, because obviously you've grown this landscaping business, you've grown a property business. What's been the key lessons to date so far? What's the key things that you're, glad that you've learned as a lesson that you'd like to pass on?
You don't need to know it all. You can really rely on your professionals. You might see that as a little bit risky, and it can be, but I just say, if you're going to be using a professional, make sure you know someone who's used them, or if it's a builder, for example, go to his jobs, see what kind of work he's producing, try and get references, and that'll give you a lot more confidence to go and use these people's, because you don't need to know how to build, an apartment block, but your builder does. And if he's got a track record of it, that's one major part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Sorted.
And how have you found building your professional team along the way? And people have helped you.
It's been difficult.
Have you had good success, constant successes, or have you had more failures than successes? Or?
Yeah, definitely more failures. But I think you can, as long as you eliminate those people, get rid of them early on, they won't cause you too much problems. And you can normally tell if you think you've got someone half dodgy, so you'll get rid.
So those that like starting with no experience, if you were to start again now with no experience in property, what's like the first key things you would do?
I would probably go into deal sourcing, because I didn't do it at first, but I think it's great for cash flow. And when you scale up and your development business takes off, you can still have your deal sourcing business.
So deal sourcing, you mean finding opportunities for other investors or developers and basically selling that opportunity on for a fee?
Yeah, exactly. Because, I'm doing landscaping and it's a different headspace, mindset altogether. It's different contacts. And I just feel like I could probably make better money deal sourcing, selling the deals that you don't even want but someone else will want, because that'll suit their criteria. And you're still in the property realm. Your mind's not, you're not running around Cardiff for that job. It's all property related. I just feel like there's that, and you can also learn from it. If you are sourcing developments for people, you can learn from what went well and what didn't go so well on those deals.
People out there might be thinking, why would a developer pay someone a fee for a project? Like, why wouldn't they just find it themselves? I mean, but then, you're a very busy investor and developer now. No doubt that if an opportunity came your way from someone, there was an off-market, good deal, you could buy this Tom for 200,000. You could either turn it around or convert it and make, your desired return. What type of fee could someone charge you for that?
Well, I think standard is between, anything from 1% and 4%. But if something was 5% but a great deal, you'd probably still go for it.
Yeah.
So
10 grand, that's it. Found something for 200k.
Yeah.
Charge you 10 grand, but that deal's going to make you $250,000.
It's a no-brainer.
Why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
So if anyone's got a deal for Tom, so he pays very good fees, as you know.
Yeah.
So I think we got some actual 5% all day long. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Good. So then finding deals, but the other side of that is finding these investors or developers. How would you go about doing that?
God, I mean, what I'm trying now, which is slightly different, but just working with equity brokers. So a lot of brokers will specialise in bridging and development finance, and that's fine. But like the key to it all is equity. And if you can work with people who know people who have a lot of money,
yeah,
and want to put that into the business and take like a 5% fee, in the grand scale of things, that's nothing. So equity brokers, networking.
Ultimately, if you had a deal that was $250,000 purchase, I'm going to make this really simple figures here. No. This deal is going to sound amazing. Don't come off them, but let's just, mental maths just in case. Yeah. If there's a deal, for 250,000 purchase, 250,000 refurb or conversion, it's going to be worth 750 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Nice, very, very good margin deal. Yeah. 250 and 750. But ultimately, what we're saying is that out of that 500k total purchase and conversion, there's always going to be some form of debt lender out there that most development finance brokers can find you, to give you at least 70% of those costs, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to need your 150,000 of equity, which always is the stumbling block for developers. So if you're looking at a potential £750,000 total deal, 150,000 is really where the equity is needed. Yeah. And that can come from equity brokers, not even who have contacts with investors. But obviously the key part of that is about being credible, isn't it? And knowing your stuff. And you can only really do that by just being around the industry and learning as much as possible.
No, exactly. And I think speaking to other people, being parts of these groups, I suppose it all comes together.
There's two main, what I've seen, there's two main attributes for successful property investors and developers. One is that they all the ones I met anyway, they're quite clued up on raising money. Raising money is always a big part of what they do. Where there might be someone in their team or themselves, or their business partner. But either way, they understand that it's vital to everything they do. Raising money the correct way, de-risk way. And the second attribute I've noticed is they're just avid, absolute, strong, avid problem solvers. You know, would you agree with those two?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, when you say problem solving, what are you alluding to? What you actually?
Well, I mean, this industry throws you problems every day.
Oh yeah,
and you just cannot. It doesn't matter how much work you do.
Yeah.
Prior.
I mean, you haven't got a choice. Yeah. You have to be a problem solver when you've got debt up against your name and it's every day is like £300 it's costing you. You have to be a problem solver. So
that's why you've got good shoulders, haven't you, Tom? The weight of all that debt on your shoulders all the time.
Yeah, well, I think remaining positive as well in these downtimes, because there will be the odd downtime, but you know, there's a lot of up times. That I'd say that's key as well. Good project management skills. And people skills, I think.
Yeah. And where did you get your self-confidence from, your people skills? Because it is emotional intelligence is what I call it, being able to be good, not just have good people skills, but really get the best out of the people in your network. That's just strong emotional intelligence. Where'd you get yours from?
Definitely, I'd say door-to-door landscaping, meeting people. From a young age of 18, 17, 18, when I started out, you're talking with people in their 40s, 50s, 60s who have a lot of self-doubt, and then when you get a few more jobs, it gives you the confidence. Yeah. People trust you. It doesn't put a chip on your shoulder, but it definitely gives you confidence.
Yeah. Oh, massively. For me, cold calling in one of my first businesses was how I started, basically, and the confidence that gives you when you actually land a sale, well, in my position, a let, because it was a letting agency, off the back of a cold call. Yes, it might have been 100 no's to the one yes, but it tells you that actually I can sell.
Well, yeah, and yeah, I mean that's key.
Not a very good ratio, mine, but
yeah, but I mean, even for your next business, like this one, how many people have you got to sell? You know,
I'm selling every day.
You're raising millions. You're housing association. You're selling ideas to your team
all the time, bringing people on board.
Yeah, so
sales is massive,
fundamental.
Really is. And your landscaping business, then. What key lessons have you learned scaling that business from, you know, just Tom with his clippers, to you know, a team now that can do extensions, patios, anything basically.
Yeah, you don't need to know it all. I mean, you need to know the right people. And
you could just go and set up an aircraft business now. you could,
no, but you just
Tom Jet.
You just need to. You just need to find the right team. Go and have a look at their work, and if you can tell you trust that guy, you sometimes can pick up the vibes. You know when you can trust someone, not all the time. Still have your guard up, and just make sure you're ahead of payments. Don't let them get too far ahead. You know, if you're working with them, you want to make sure you can escape. And
I love your hand actions as you're doing this. It's probably like wheeling and dealing type thing. That's when you say wheeling and dealing. That's like the picture comes in people's mind. You know? You're bobbing like you're in a boxing fight. Yeah.
And
I suppose that's what it's like every day, man, isn't it?
Battle every day, isn't it? Every single day is a firefight. Yeah.
But that leads me on though too, and I was sorry to interrupt you there, but it is important because we don't really talk about it. But we've just talked about their high stress environment, problem solving all the time, basically going what feels like a mental boxing match every day. How do you deal with that mental stress? If you someone's
I think for me, staying busy. So don't give yourself time to think about it. Make sure you work, and the gym helps, boxing helps, training helps, staying busy, and then Saturday and Sunday comes. Make sure if you're not working, you know you're out, you're socialising, your mind's, you've got to stay focused on something all the time. I just think that helps. If you start dwelling on the problems which you can't control, what is the point? Make sure you deal with the problems as and when. And if it's the weekend and you're worrying a little bit, just wait until Monday. Deal with it then. First thing.
Yeah. Do you have any like hobbies to help you switch off? I don't really like the saying switch off, but do you?
Yeah, I think I've got fishing, so helps me calm. I think I've got a bit of a hyperactive mind sometimes, so you know I like my fishing
a bit.
And then Yeah, training. Yeah, I like my training, so that's about it, really. That keeps me busy. What about yourself?
Well, for me, the biggest thing that I have, like when it comes to, I can deal with high levels of pressure and stress. In fact, I think that I perform my best when I'm under that level of pressure and stress. If I'm in an environment where there is no stress or pressure and things are going well, I'm actually
Can you
at my
give us
most
an
uncomfortable.
example? Can you give us an
Yeah,
example?
if everything's running smooth, and there's like everything's happening as it should, and everything's like quite calm and chilled, I've sat feeling like mentally, and I got this anxiety level starts kicking in, and I just got this urge to break something.
Do you think your staff can pick up those vibes?
Probably,
Yeah.
but the biggest thing for me, and I don't know if this is the same with you, is it's worse. Like the mental pressure is worse, only really when it relates to cash flow issues. Do you have the same on that? Everything else I can deal with.
Oh, yeah. 100. Well, I think we were talking in our last discussion, and I told you one Sunday I was crippled up because it was a cash flow issue. It got sorted on the Monday, and it was all mind games. But yeah, I totally agree. I think cash flow is king. Make sure you've got it sorted. And I going back to what I was just saying, I think having a cash flow and business on the side can be really beneficial to your property development game, where you might not be getting paid for 0 to 4 years, from a development. So it's crucial if you haven't got cash reserves in the bank.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you mentioned about team there as well. How do you mind saying how big's your team? How many people do you have working for you any time, like the landscape business, or at its peak, or?
Yeah, so with the landscaping, it's just contractors. They might work for me 1 week a month. Really, they're not full time, but there's a team of 3, and
So many subcontract out to you.
yeah, exactly. It all gets subbed out.
Also, you go out, you secure the work, you then go basically tender it to subbies that you know that will do the work.
Yeah.
You'll make a spread between.
Yeah,
So your main effort and time is about lead generation, running the admin of the business, and then just dealing with the customers.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it really, and same goes with the property. I know you've gone down the construction route, creating your own construction team, which is great.
Well, I don't recommend.
Well, yeah, but you can make a lot of sites work, can't you? Because
Yeah, I mean,
you imagine it's much less.
Again, construction is a high stress, high pressure zone. Like it really is a brutal industry. There's no two ways about it. And you have to have quite a good level of mental perseverance and problem solving and just being in that environment. Really, it's not all rainbows and sunshine, as they say. But for me, I like being in control of what we're delivering. I like trying to be the best that we can. Try to deliver a site to the highest quality as possible, whilst also being, at cost and also on time. Try to just strive for that achievement. I've just always really liked that personally, and that's kind of why. But also in the social sector, it is lower margin, so to make it work by giving the site to a main contractor as well as trying to take a spread on top, it's quite challenging to do that in this sector. But the trade-off for us is that we forward sell. We've got a strong customer, it's a housing association or even a local authority. So the chance of non-payment it's really low.
Yeah, I mean, there does come a lot of responsibility with it. But yeah, like you say, you can probably eliminate your chance of not getting paid by a lot more if it was just a private client or a developer. They're always gonna
different ends of the risk spectrum, definitely.
Yeah,
but with that, you have those offsets, don't you? The other negatives that come with it. We have to manage the construction ourselves. That's not an easy feat. It has to be done properly. We enter into fixed price contracts. So those are the two major downfalls. And when you're doing the construction yourself, cash flow management is vital. It's really doesn't take long from just an incorrect loading of a CSA, being in a fixed price contract and inflation eating up your margin. It doesn't take long for projects to really go in the red, to be honest. So I can see why there's so many insolvencies in the industry. Like it's really tough. I think it just needs a much more better collaborative approach. But as a private developer,
where we was a main contractor, that is it relieves that pressure where
you've got one invoice coming in, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. And if I haven't got work for them, fine, no problem. I mean, we do intend on working with the same contractors continuously as long as they perform and they keep the performance levels up. But the downside to that is we are paying a premium, and we're going to get less sites to work. And I feel like the really large sites, which we mentioned, 100 to 300 units, all the developers that I know our user main contractors. So, I suppose you can focus on being just a developer or being both, and there's no right or wrong way to do it, really.
No, I mean, there's a well-known analogy about a cat, which I'm not going to say. It's just comes from multiple ways to skin her.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I couldn't think of anything better to say on that. But it is ultimately this. What I'm a firm believer of is figure out first, or get a rough idea of where you want to get to. That's the most important part about anything. If you know where you're going, you can devise your own custom route and structure of getting there that works very well for you, your personality, your management style, the certain circumstances of the macro environment, your locations you're in. Everything's going to be quite unique and different to you. But you can only really do that effectively if you know what you're trying to do. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. You've got to have a clear goal in mind and work backwards from there, really. I think, like we were talking about, what I found really helpful, you put me onto, actually, is something as simple as KPIs, key performance indicators, and OKRs, objectives and key results, which is basically where you've got a goal, and what's the objective of that goal, and what's the key results. So the objective might be to make, to build a portfolio of 100 properties. And how are you going to do that? Well, you break it down, and you might realize you've got to be putting out 8 offers a month for the next, 10 to 12 years, and you'll work out your conversion rate to offer rate, and you work backwards. You might need a little bit of data to work out what your key results got to be to achieve the objective. But once you've got a bit of data there, you can start to compile it and realize if you're on track for your goals or not on track for your goals. And I think, a little bit of that comes at the start. I think it's really hard to do that. But once you've got a little bit of data, the puzzle starts to come together.
Definitely. At the start of all of my business I've ever been involved in, has always been full on 110% scattergun approach, really. Really, what I'm trying to do is something called like a minimum viable product, effectively, which is kind of like working out all these different ideas in my head as cost effective as possible without spending much money or time, which works, which has got traction, really, because most of the ideas you have will never work. And you just got to try and find those ideas that do work, but you don't spend a lot of time or money getting to those, if that makes sense. Anything then that starts showing like traction or it's working and it'll help you get towards that overall objective, double down on it. Double down on it until it's just not working anymore. Well, sometimes that can take you the entire way.
So can you just remind me some of your KPIs for sourcing deals? Because I think everyone's going to want to know that. Like what kind of key results do you?
For this entire business is broken down into divisions and objectives and key results for it all, basically.
For each department.
For each department and for the entire, the objective of the company. So Castells Group is a social house building company, and its main objective is to be nationwide, but initially phase 1 is this region, South Wales, and region 1's main objective is to hand over 300 homes per annum. That's handover. And we want to maintain a 3-year plus pipeline of work ahead of us. So therefore, effectively, we need to be in construction at any given time of about 450 homes, and we need to have a pipeline of about 1,500 homes in our pipeline, because 300 handovers, average 18-month program, is about 450 homes need to be in construction of, right? So straight away, that's the objective the land team is given. That's what you need to know. Then with the head of land and development, I'm like, what objectives do we need to set for the land team so we know that if those are green, we're going to achieve that goal? And obviously, it's about size of pipeline, number of offers sent out in a month, number of offers accepted, number of exchanges, where the leads are coming from, all these things. But it's so much easier when I've told you what the objective is, because we know where we're going. And it's the same for every division in the company. If I said to land first, right, what's our KPIs, but without saying what that objective was first, that's the problem. It's like your world literally is your oyster. Am I sourcing deals now in San Diego or Cardiff Bay? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't. And we've seen it before at networking events, haven't you, where people stand up when they do their introduction. It's like, hi, my name's Dorian. I'm a property developer. I'm looking for deals everywhere and anywhere. I look for anything and everything, and I'll borrow money off everyone. So if anyone's got any deal, come speak to me.
Yeah, I think
doesn't work.
I think that was me at one point as well. I mean, definitely at the start. I think I've really homed in on Cardiff as an area now, and I mean, I like to know that everything's within 20 minutes from me, even in rush hour, 20 or 30 minutes, even in rush hour. So I think, yeah, if you can go in an area, you can become an expert on that area. You know your comparables, that you got the contacts. So I think it's much better than the scattergun approach.
So, Tom, Managing Director of Trust Group, expert of 4-unit deals in Cardiff at the moment, soon to be 300-unit tower blocks.
Yeah.
Tom, we could talk for hours, but I think we'll leave it there. There's been tons of value added here. Any final words that you'd like to share with the audience just before we finish up? Somebody watching us now, they're either in a job, they're interested in property, they've got their own business. If they want to do anything similar to what you've done, what should they do?
I think if you're in a job, you just need to go for it. Just start. Just you like what you want. Why do you want to do this? And then if you want it bad enough, you'll just do it. Even if you don't leave your job, make sure you can keep your job there and just do this on weekends for now, whilst you build the contacts, whilst you start networking. But anything's possible, really. And I think accept the objectives. Your key results will follow on from there, and go for it.
Amazing. Tom, thanks, mate.
Thank you very much.